Marcus, kind of in contrast to Felix, very mild-mannered, very calm, you know, kind of got his emotions, certainly his aggressive emotions under control. So it was a real shock to me, kind of watching from the sidelines, to hear him say to this kind of really lanky striker, who's a bit of a wanker, to be honest. I think he said, "Why don't you just fuck off, you long streak of piss?"
Rance not only returned to the squad, but was a central midfield player.
It was absolutely great to have Mr. Rance back, to have him back in the fold. Little bit surprised to see him in midfield. You know, that's normally a position that a younger man, a younger, fitter, more energetic man might take.
A particularly bad injury, actually, as injuries go. It was the bruised outer metatarsal knee ligamented, well, slight strain of the ankle, to be quite honest.
Some rumours abound that maybe he'd bribed stand-in skipper Sheridan to kind of put him in that role. Something to do with a sheep shagging convention that he'd spotted Sherry at. Don't know. All rumours. Don't quote me.
It was a bit of a mess, really. I turned up ready to play and was told I was going to be linesman. But I spent really that Sunday morning being shouted at. I was shouted at by my own team, Matty in particular, for not keeping up with the line, and was shouted at by one of the opposition's supporters for applauding. And then I think after that spell of shouting, Colonel and Steve asked, well, they didn't ask, they shouted at me to take over refereeing duties. Basically, the shouting continued, but I thought it was not directed at me, which I was quite relieved at. They were actually shouting at me because I hadn't ever refed a game before, and it did take me a while for it to sink in that I was actually the ref. Rather pleasingly, I was put back on the line, but I heard people shouting amongst themselves that they were going, "Oh God, not that linesman again." It was quite a distressing Sunday morning for me, and it was cold and wet as well. Well, that's my Easter Monday Player of the Season 2002-2003. So I keep on my mantelpiece.
That was a game where Sheridan scored a hat-trick, which has gone down in history now, Easter Monday folklore, as the ugliest hat-trick ever seen. The third one was with Brian going straight for goal from a corner.
I caressed the ball off the inside of my left boot, and basically, what can I say? It was the most fantastic corner I think I've ever taken. It hit the post and went in. Unfortunately, about 2.5-3 yards over the line, Sheridan had tripped. The ball actually hit his arse, and he tried to claim it, saying it's the hat-trick, and off he ran with the match ball.
Normally we'd have the trophy at this point, but unfortunately I forgot to bring the trophy. So it's just as well we've kept the trophy. So here's 15 trophies. 1, 2, 3.
We were playing five-a-side on an Astra pitch every Monday, in Easton, and then we thought, well, there's quite a few of us now. We could actually get an 11-side team together. I think somebody said, I've got a works team who will play us. So we formed Dynamo Rorschach and had a couple of friendly games. Rorschach was a band in Bristol. We were Dynamo Rorschach because a lot of the guys played for Rorschach, but we kind of lost that name when we went into the Casuals League. I think we wanted something that actually reflected our football background rather than our musical background, and as we played in Easton on a Monday, we became Easton Monday.
Brian's lashing this one straight in.
What, Daddy?
Oh no, Brian.
Sometimes it's
First game, where I think we got hammered about 10-1. And what stuck in my mind was the goalkeeper was having a fag during the kick about at the start. I thought, well, fair enough, it's casual football. The game kicked off, looked back, and he was still having a fag. I thought, he's going to put that away in a minute. They started attacking. I thought, surely he's going to put his fag down. And it wasn't until they were about outside the 18-yard box that he tried to balance it on the side of the net. There were several corners when he was still smoking as the ball came across, and he'd wave at it. So more and more I was realising what the whole ethos of the team was going to be, which kind of made it, even though we got beat 10-1 in that game, it was probably one of the most enjoyable games I've played in.
My popularity grew when I became treasurer, funnily enough. We were a very cash-rich club back then. I even bought drinks for everyone during our training sessions. Good times, good times. I don't know what happened to the funds after I left. I have no idea, you know. Yes, I'm doing very well now. There's nothing whatsoever to do with the sudden lack of funds in the account when I left. You might want to talk to the treasurer who came after me, Sheridan, Pete Sheridan, I think his name was. You want to talk to his lawyer. I will be having a glass of rosé on your behalf. Cheers. Here's to the next glory years. Okay, is that it? All right, you might want to phone the lawyer about that funds thing, just in case there's anything libelous in what I said.
Sort of after those glory years of sort of 2003 to 2010, the team started to fade a little bit. Guys got older. Sadly, we even got relegated down to Division 2. So things were, again looking a bit bleak. But largely thanks to Mark Drain, who has to take a lot of credit for this. He turned up and was able to bring a few new players, younger players, to the squad, players that could fill our old retiring boots. And as a consequence, we started winning again. The team got promotion to Division 1.
Todos los 653 goles que he metido en las últimas 3 temporadas se los debo a los jugadores y al entrenador. Todo perfectamente muy bien.
That one there.
Yeah.
See that one there?
Yeah.
That one's Stewie Charlton's, who lives there with his wife Charlene. And then, hang on, I'll show you. If we move around here, you see the one with the big crested one with the round window?
Yeah.
That's Pete Sheridan with his wife Chardonnay.
Okay, lovely.
Yeah, me and my wife haven't bought down here yet. We're still on the waiting list.